All right, everyone. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Lukewarm Takes podcast with our very own Ian Hargrove and myself, Kyle Davis. This is going to be a little different today. We don't really have much to talk about, do we? Not
No.
much. So we're going to throw a few segment ideas at you, and we're going to see what sticks. um,
Yeah.
Me and him were talking about this the other day, just coming up with some different things to talk about. We don't have anything to talk about, really. I mean, we are right in the middle of like two major playoffs. Uh, But I mean, I feel like they're pretty self-explanatory. If you're watching it, you know exactly what's going on. So first thing we're gonna do is we had an idea that some people just own the week, right? Like just come out and it's their time to shine. So we decided we're gonna start with big dog of the week. Coming up,
Oh.
coming up, coming up with somebody that just owned it this week. So Ian, who's your big dog of the week this week?
I like this idea because somebody instantly was able to come to mind.
Yeah.
Um, it's going to be embarrassing. I don't think we'd end up having the same one because we kind of watch different sports. My big dog of the week is James Harden and the James Harden Renaissance this week.
Oh.
Um, since we've last recorded, he's taken over two major playoff games in a playoff series that I thought he'd probably be the fourth most important guy in.
Hmm.
He's owning it
Yeah.
to the stat line. So we recorded. Um, I don't know when we ended up uploading, but we recorded our last week's episode on a Monday morning. That night, uh, let's see. Let me go back to that night. Harden, 39 minutes, 45 points,
Mm.
1 rebound, 6 assists, +8. No
Wow.
Embiid. I thought this game was over, but it ended up
Yeah.
actually working because when your big man is the key player like that, their pace is so much different than the Celtics. They're trying to get him these looks at the top of the key and let him be a quarterback, and they're trying to get him to post up. None of that. Harden, like it's 2016 and we're watching the Rockets play.
Hmm.
Then they get blown out the next game. I think to myself, the Harden Renaissance, it's over. Cue in last night. Overtime win. James Harden, another 42-point game. He is
Mhm.
-6 in this one. But, I mean, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
42 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists.
Hmm.
2 rebounds and an assist away from a 42-point triple-double.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was done. I thought he was going to be a nice piece. He's been playing better. He's been playing like he actually wants to play. There's been
Hmm.
talk of him going back to Houston. So this could end up being like a contract thing for him where he shows up like, I'm still the man. Like, who do you think that I am?
Yeah.
Anyways, Embiid ended up playing in this game. I thought it would I thought the pace would be too slow for him to have another bomb, but Embiid, let's see, 34, Harden 42. They win in overtime.
Yeah.
Did you keep up with this? I know you were watching the first one.
Yeah. I watched the second half of this game.
So
Um,
let me ask you this.
yeah.
I'm not in any Celtics, big circles or anything like that. But if I were, I feel like we would be having the same conversation over and over again about why on God's green earth does Marcus Smart always have the ball in his hand in the
At the
last
end of the
few
game.
seconds of the game.
Yeah. Well, so are you talking about so he had the regulation shot, right? Like last shot in regulation too? I know he
Yes.
had the overtime last shot. You know, the last shot in regulation, that's hilarious that he also missed out. But the overtime shot, I don't think the overtime shot is Marcus Smart's fault. I think it's Jason Tatum's fault.
I do too. That's what
Because
I'm saying.
Jason Tatum should have taken that. He should have gone up. He had three guys on him, but he has to go up. And
You're
which
the
I
guy.
the whole possession was a disaster class. I mean, you bring it down, you're down. You're gonna dribble it out for the last shot. I mean, you have the potential to go for a quick basket okay, then if you miss, you have a chance to foul. Like that's a risk you have to take when you're down. You know,
Yeah.
like I'll get there's the argument, oh, we don't want them to be able to score on us. Well, you're down. Like it
You
doesn't
got to
matter.
get a bucket.
They don't have to score on you if you don't score. So I think you got to go for the basket, score, and then if you get play defense. That's the name of the game. So I don't think that
Yeah.
was on Marcus Smart. He made the
Well,
shot. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but they keep saying that Tatum's the guy. And like
Yeah,
literally since he came in, I remember when he got drafted, I'm playing JV basketball. My coach looked at me and we're talking about the draft in the locker room, just shooting the stuff. And he said, Tatum's going to be the next LeBron.
yeah,
And then they have that run against the Cavs, against LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. He shows out. We're like, this kid's special. And then I feel like he kind of carries them last season to the finals, and then he's just not we're like, oh, he's not on the same level as Curry yet. Give him
yeah,
next year. And like there's been like 3 or 4 games in these playoffs where it's Marcus Smart with the ball in his hand in the last 8 seconds.
yeah,
And I don't even it's got to be Tatum or Brown. There's a lot of nights where I'd rather have Jaylen Brown with the ball.
hmm
But if Tatum's going to be the guy, I don't like it drives me crazy. I'm not here to bash on Jason Tatum. I was here to talk about how great James Harden did. But I
yeah,
can't say that without saying I don't know. I just think this series should be 3-1.
yeah. Oh, I think so too. But here's my James Harden take. I think he is an every other game dog. Okay, I think he's
It
gonna be a
could
little
be.
tired tomorrow. Like the way this is going, especially with the overtime game last night. I feel like he's gonna be a little slow tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just gonna see your opinion on that. I think. I mean, I guess we'll see
I
tomorrow.
I
But
think I don't know. This season he did start playing harder. He came out, he was looking a little doughy like
yeah,
usual. He's not moving the same. They did get blown out between these 2 games that I talked
yeah,
about. I talked about the one of the first of the week and the one last night. The one between, they did get annihilated.
yeah.
So I think that's very possible. I don't know where this game was. I
Last
feel like
night,
yeah.
I think it was in. No, it was in Philadelphia.
See, I feel like all the time I'm seeing them be like, "Oh, we've got to steal these on
Yeah,
if I steal one on the road and the next one's on the road, then we'll take that one off."
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited for tomorrow, though. I'm interested to see how that works out for him.
I mean, I feel like that's what we've seen. I don't know. I could talk about these playoffs, but I feel like that's what I've seen like LeBron do as he's 38. They steal that
Yeah,
first game on the road, they get blown out the next game. They're like, we got our game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got mine.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
good.
Did you see that stat where it was like in the past? I think it's 16 now. Like in the past 16 postseason NBA series, if the home team loses the first game, they win the second game. In the last 16 series in the NBA playoffs.
That passes the eye test for me.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's a pretty crazy stat, but it might go along with what you're saying. It's like the away team, they like steal that first game and they kind of lax off, or the home team's like double down, got to win this home game. But I mean, it might be both. I just thought it
Yeah,
was a crazy stat.
but I also think that other some teams it's a real like fatigue thing,
hmm
and then some teams have a real home court advantage that other teams just don't have.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if Denver gets a better advantage with the altitude and all that stuff, and
yeah,
what else. I don't know what else there is to do in Denver right now.
hmm
Sure, they're packing it out. Did you see
yeah.
the first game, Warriors Lakers? The most expensive ticket sold was 33,000.
Oh wow. Yeah, I did not see that. That's wild. I mean,
That's a
for
crazy
yeah,
that's a
that's a
crazy
wild.
number.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so shout
Okay.
out to James Harden.
Yeah.
The James
Yeah.
Harden Renaissance It might be an every other night Renaissance fair. I don't know.
Yeah. So my big dog, I have the opportunity for there's three big dogs I have this week, but I'm gonna talk about the other two in another part of this. Not they're not gonna be big dogs there. They're just gonna be stud athletes. But my big dog of the week is Suns legend Landry Shamet, Wichita
Shaman.
State Shamet, Wichita State alum. This one, so in the first 8 games of the playoffs for the Suns, he scored 14 points combined. Not
Yeah.
great, not great. But last night,
Yeah.
Landry Shamet, off of a 5 for 8 from three, scored 19 points to push the Suns to victory. And it was really crazy to watch the game and just have Landry Shamet take over from the left corner. In the third quarter, he made two in a row, timeout, Denver. It was awesome. So I just think that's a performance that pushed without those points from Landry Shamet, the Suns don't win that game. I think they ended up
No.
winning by 8, but that game was over like with 4 minutes left, and they kind of added some. So
Yeah, they
uh,
ended up winning by 7. They
yeah,
needed a Shamet game. They're not deep
they
at
did.
all.
They're not. So the Shamet game pushed the Suns over the line. See, I think this could be the upset of the playoffs.
No.
This You don't think so? Okay. All right.
No, go ahead. Continue
Cold
your
cold take.
thing. Or is it hot? I don't know.
It could be. The Suns over. I feel like Jokic alone should win this series, and I mean he is right now. He had like 60 points last night, and they lost. Um, which I guess might be the opposite of my point, because with a Jokic 6 point game, you should be winning that game. The rest of the team is just dropping the bag. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I just felt
I don't,
like the Suns, Devin Booker is on the decline right now. I feel like, I mean, he's getting it. Last night, he didn't shoot, which hurt. I don't know. I feel like there's too much going on in the paint for them. That's my thing. You got Kevin Durant moving around.
yeah.
You got these guards that don't shoot threes. Is my Suns take.
No, so I want to say it's the last 2 seasons, the Suns have taken the most mid-range shots in
Yeah.
basketball. But one of those seasons they end up going to the finals. And so I think that there was some trickery going on where the Suns thought this is our identity. We're just going to ride with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
Durant and Booker combined for 72, and if Shamet has an average game, they still lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're
And I
like,
think that 70-point range combined for Booker and Durant is I'm not going to say that's the floor for them, but that's really what you want out of them.
I mean, you have to have it from them because their third leading scorer will score maybe 10 points unless Shamet has a night, you know? Like,
They needed a big Shamet game.
and they got it. See, my thing is the Suns cannot bank on a Shamet game.
They have
Or,
to.
I mean, at this point, like that's why I'm saying this could be the upset of the playoffs if Landry Shamet goes hard these next 3 games, and they're able to win in 6. I mean, if it goes to Game 7, anything can happen. But
Interesting. Go ahead.
if it goes to Game 7, anything can happen. But if
Right.
I think if the Suns have like a legit chance at this series, they're gonna have to do it in 6 with at least one more Shamet game. That's my take.
Oh, yeah. I think they're just not deep enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to go back and look at what all they gave up for Durant. But one thing that was interesting was they got a new owner this year.
Who had
Matt
an interesting
Anderson.
night last night.
Yeah,
We can talk about that in a
is in
minute.
headlines this morning.
Yeah.
And we can get to that in a second. But he was on Bill Simmons last week. And it was really interesting because when he's on, I think they were down 2-0.
Hmm.
And his whole thing, he's talking like, oh yeah, well next year, blah 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 blah. Next year we got 3 years of Durant. We got 2 more years on Booker's contract, and it's like, and I'm thinking like, bro, you're in a playoff series right now, and he's over here. He keeps talking about, and I think he's got to because they they gave up their wings. They
Yeah,
gave up Bridges and Cam Johnson, and there's not another backup guard. I mean, Paul gets hurt now. They have less depth, and I'm like, if they give up all the list of picks and Mikal Bridges, they couldn't have told the Nets like, nah, we'll keep Cam Johnson.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying they screwed themselves because they got Kevin Durant,
Hmm.
but I think even the owner knows like trading away those pieces, they're not in a position to win right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
The series is tied 2-2, so
it
I'm not
is.
saying.
Yeah, yeah. It
I still can't see them beating the Nuggets in the 7 game series.
yeah. I mean, this NBA, you have to have some 3-point threat. It's just like I feel like over the course of these next 2 to 3 games, it's going to be obvious, right, what
Right.
their game plan is because it's going to be Devin Booker driving, Kevin Durant elbow going to work. I mean, that's literally what they're doing right now. DeAndre Ayton has proven to be no contribution. He got benched really in the third quarter. I mean, which his backup, I think he scored like 6 points in the
Let
third
me go
fourth
back and
quarter.
look at the box.
I forgot his name. He's got a little mohawk thing going on, which like I'm all for. Um, and he did better guarding Jokic, I think, than Ayton did. I think that was one of the main reasons for the sub.
Landale.
Yeah, that's the guy.
So they shot. This is the first time I think I've seen them shoot more threes than their opponent. They shot 29 last night. Denver
Wow.
shot 7. They were only 7 for 22 last night.
The Suns?
The Nuggets.
Oh, the Nuggets. Yeah.
The Suns actually shot 44 or 45% from three.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're
five.
the stats guy. Is that an anomaly? I just
What
don't see
is?
them doing that again. I don't see them taking 29 shots again, and I don't see them shooting 45%.
Oh, the Suns?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Landry Shamet went 5 for 8. I mean,
yeah.
that's the statistical anomaly there. They're not a 3-point shooting team,
Back to Shamet.
but yeah. So we're full circle. Big dog of the week, Landry Shamet. Um, they're gonna need another Shamet game.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's
they've
the
got to. I mean, Durant and Booker can space the floor, but they don't.
yeah, yeah,
They take 2 steps and then take these turnaround fadeaways from mid range.
yeah.
It's just like this is the worst shot in
But that's their
basketball.
game, and they go in. Like that's their game.
They do go in. They combine for 72 points,
Yeah,
but when your other team is shooting 33s a game, it's just not enough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think the consensus of this is that Shamet's gonna have to have a game, at least one more game. Like he's gonna have to go off, or someone is. Someone's gonna have to make a lot of threes.
Somebody's gonna have to go off.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to go off. That is not Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has to go off every night for them to have a chance. I don't know. Jokic is gonna score 50 points for the rest of the series.
If he
It's
wants.
yeah,
I think that he's the kind of guy where he can say, tonight I'm going to score 50. And I think he's the kind of guy where he can say, tonight I'm going to have 15 assists.
yeah,
I think like, I don't know. I think a 30, 10 and 10 game could be the floor for him in like a game 7.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's I don't know. The majority of the time he shot last night, I was like, "There's no chance this goes in," and it just falls every time.
I
Those
love watching him play, man.
yeah, those little like he'll back a guy down, and he's like halfway down the key on like the left side, and he'll do a little
Mhm.
rotation, and he's not like it's not like a fadeaway. It's more of just a shot over the top of the guy. You know, it's like it's not like he's having
Yeah,
to
I
fade
mean,
away.
it's
But
crazy because I feel like he uses his height in a way that people were not used to seeing because back in the day we're like, okay, if you're tall, you dominate in the paint and all this stuff. Well, and they get these late night West Coast games all the time. So I'll watch like the
yeah,
first half before I go to bed. And he gets their whole game is, and some other teams have started doing this too, where he's getting the ball at the top of the key. He can stretch the floor. He can hit a shot from three.
mm,
But then because he's so big and his arm, he's seeing over everybody to make the right play every time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
some of those passes he squeezed like I just think he's the guy he's making. I don't think Aaron Gordon's that good. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is that good. But I think because they play with Jokic,
yeah,
it's just it's a whole different game for his teammates because of the threat that he is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Last night, Michael Porter Jr. had an awful game. I mean, he had a good first half. Second half, not very good. I think he had like 5 points in the second half, or maybe less. I feel like he's just
He's two
standing
for nine
2 for 9.
from
He was just standing in the corner the entire second half, which is kind of his role, but
right.
he just didn't make anything. I think he had like an air ball the beginning of the second half.
I mean,
But
speaking of guys that is going to have to step up, it's really likely that there ends up being where Michael Porter Jr. puts himself in the Marcus Smart role and ends up taking a big shot.
yeah,
What
yeah,
is playing? Sorry.
you're good. He is their big shot guy, right? Like he should be. You know, like corner three into the game, he should be the guy
That's going to
taking
be
it
him.
probably. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm pumped that we have so many. Like we have two series tied at 2-2. We have the
Yeah.
potential tonight for two more series to go 2-2. You know, it's like
This has been an awesome playoffs.
it really has.
If you're a basketball fan, I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been great. But a storyline from last night, non-basketball storyline. Jokic and the Suns owner getting getting into a little altercation on the sideline.
I know.
I think so. Here's my take. For those of the you that didn't watch the game, the ball goes to the sideline. Matt Ishba
Did I
gets the.
screen share it?
Yeah, we can screen share it back. How are we gonna make the transition smooth? How are we gonna
Okay,
do
we're back. I've got the play here.
it? Okay. Yep.
I'm going to share my screen. Um. Okay. Give me a second. You know what's been stuck in my head?
What's that?
All my kids at youth last night were singing this TikTok song where he goes, 1, 2, buckle my. Okay, here we go. Have you heard that?
I mean, I feel like when I was a kid, like the 1, 2 buckle my shoe, 3, 4 open the door thing.
Yeah, but it's way better. I'm going to send you a link in a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, here's a minute and 18 seconds.
All right.
Oh, wait. I had my mouse on the wrong screen. We'll get that too. Okay, now we're back.
Okay.
Like we were saying, the Joker, Matt Ishbia, they got beef now. Here we go.
Man was here with them for 5 years. Hard to believe he'll be gone. It's going to be strange to walk into this building and not see his smiling face as Phoenix turns it over. Now, boy, Jokic, a little bit of contact. Boy, that potentially could get dangerous. I think Jokic was just trying to get the basketball from the crowd, and
look at Matt.
Crowd a little upset about that. And as both teams will go to their respective benches, Kogi landing. That's what happened
Little
there.
elbow.
Jokic, boy, trying to rip it away from Matt Ishbia, and then the little shove. Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
he's trying to take a charge.
Played for Tom Izzo, so he's unafraid, I'm sure. A little bit of maybe a flop from Ishbia.
I can't believe they called the flop, too.
You got to sell it to the officials.
All right,
you know?
so I've got a take here. Okay.
Okay, give me your take.
I think this is a lukewarm take. I think this is a stable understanding of the situation.
Okay.
Ball goes into the crowd. Matt Ishbia grabs the ball. He's not paying attention to the ball. He's just got it in his arm. He's kind of dealing with the Suns player, that's kind of in the crowd, like trying to get him out.
Right.
Jokic, for some reason, says, I'm going to get that ball. I feel like this is a soccer situation where he can grab the ball, throw it in quick, right?
Yeah.
But he can't do that. Jokic cannot throw this ball in quick because there's literally a Suns player in the crowd. It's not like him holding the ball is holding the game up in any way. But Jokic decides to go over there and tries to rip that ball out of his hands. He succeeds kind of, right? Ishbia holds on pretty tight and then kind of like throws it, gives him a little throw, right there. Then Jokic in frustration gives him a little forearm. Now, I don't think this forearm was a lot, okay? But I don't know if you've ever been like up against a chair and start falling backwards. You know how that goes? Like you're up against a chair standing and then you fall
Yeah.
backwards a little bit. You have to go down because your knees are literally like taken out from under you, right? There's no like
by the
stepping
chair.
back for balance. So Ishbia has to fall here. I don't think that was the flop part.
You're not thinking that you no flop on you?
I think there's a little embellishment, but Ishbia has to go sit down. There's no way he can not fall back into the chair. Do I think he embellished it a little bit? Maybe, but I think it's a little much to say he flopped entirely.
I don't know. Joker's a big guy.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think they're both in the wrong here. Ishbia.
Did you see the post game?
It was on. I wasn't really paying attention.
So he goes. They say, what happened with the altercation? He said, the fan touched me first. He said he had the ball. He can't have the ball. The fan touched me first. I thought the league's supposed to protect me from that. And the reporter says, do you know who the fan was? And he just looks at the reporter and he goes, that's Matt Ishbia, the Suns owner. And I'm not saying that Joker's not playing dumb, but I think if there's any superstar in the league who wouldn't know who the owner is sitting courtside, and I think it would be him. I think that he genuinely doesn't care about anything else but going in and playing basketball. He literally threw away the half of this last month of the season because they clinched the 1 seed, and they were like, "You're not going to win the MVP," and he's like, "Okay." And then he's sitting there in the post game last night, and they're like, he said the fan hit me. They said, "Do you know who the fan is?" And he just looked at him.
Oh, I think there's zero chance he knew who that was. I mean,
no way. And he's new. I mean, he just started 4 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, no chance. I think it's 100% innocent in that that's just a fan. But do I think he was wrong for running over there trying to steal the ball and push him into the seat? Maybe, probably. I think he deserved a technical foul. But I don't think he deserves a suspension. Because that's kind of where we're at. It's early-ish Monday morning. We still don't know if he's going to be suspended yet, right? I don't think he deserves a suspension, especially with the state of the series right now. Because if so, Matt Ishbia should get the MVP for this series.
100%.
If Jokic gets suspended, Ishbia gets the MVP.
I don't think that they should suspend him.
No.
I don't think he knew who it was, and I think it is different if it was just a fan.
If it was just a fan, I think the fan would have gotten ejected.
I do too. But I've heard Ishbia on the interviews, and I could definitely see him coming out after this and saying, "Hey, you know what? It's competitive. It's high tension. I love the competition. It's all good." If something like that came out today, then I think that the chances of the league suspending him lowers because if Ishbia is not worried about this series being the thing that defines his career anyways, I don't see him. I think that he's smart enough to think ahead, and if somehow they get up 3-2 and the Nuggets lose the series, the Nuggets, bloggers, tweeters, well, the only reason that they won the series is because Ishbia is a baby and he got Joker suspended for a game. I don't think they want that either.
No.
So I would say the safest bet is he doesn't get suspended. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence about the technical foul thing. I think you could convince me either way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big of a thing for me. I mean, I could see Nick going either way, I guess is the end of the day. I
I
don't know
didn't
how this is
listen
going to
to
be
it.
called.
I love the commentators calling
Yeah.
it a flop live.
Yeah, which I couldn't really, when I was watching the game, I couldn't really hear the call. I was watching it with a Suns fan. So, like, everybody was yelling, and it was kind of an interesting,
That's our guy. That's our
yeah,
owner.
no, like, it was an interesting, I didn't really get to hear the call. So that was pretty good. We got to hear the call. Calling that
Did you
flop.
know that Ishbia played for like Michigan State?
Did not know that. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
apparently he
Had
was
to
a
know
hooper
that.
back in the day.
That's exciting.
And then he went into the mortgage game.
Yeah. And now he's back.
Yeah. My father's been doing mortgages my whole life, and we're nowhere close to owning the Suns. So I don't know where we went wrong as a
Man.
family. I don't know what Matt Ishbia knows that we don't,
Yeah. I don't know.
but whatever, man.
Oh, man. Well, I think that wraps up Big Dog of the
Yeah.
Week.
Joker's a good segue to the European sports.
Yeah. So
Big
another
Dog
one.
of the Week.
Yeah, Big Dog of the Week. I think, well, so let's wrap Big Dog of the Week up here. Big Dog of the
Okay.
Week. I think in the future we need to add like the other side of it too. I would need to come up with a word for like not big dog, like small dog or hot dog of the week. You know, it's like so. You know what I'm saying? Like
The hot dog of the week.
somebody on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, let me think of a good example. I can't think of a good example. Like PJ Tucker, he'd be a good small dog of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like just
Like
someone that,
somebody quietly turning the tide of a series.
or no, just being not great. You know,
Oh.
like you know what I'm saying? Or yeah, I think our big dog is like player of the week. You know, but
So
our hot
before
dog,
last night, you could have also made the case for Shamet being the hot dog of the week.
Shaman would have been a perfect hot dog of the week
And like they've hit
before
maybe
yesterday.
10 threes this whole series.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
Like,
we'll think about it. Maybe a different name. That's just kind of what came to my mind. I think hot dog of the week would be fun too.
I like it, yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna transition. Oh, we're talking about Jokic. Oh, he's European.
New segment alert.
New segment alert. Right now, we're gonna call it European sports for American fans, which we could definitely fix into something more eloquent later. But I happen to be
European.
interested in European sports, and in two big European sporting events happened. One actually in the United States, so I guess it's a worldwide sport. Formula One racing happened. Race yesterday in Miami, and we're just gonna hit the big storyline. So Red Bull dominating the season. Red Bull Racing, they're dominating the whole thing, right? There are
Right.
two drivers, Max Verstappen, world champion the past 2 years, and Sergio Perez, are 1 and 2 in the drivers' championship, separated by 6 points coming into this week. So it's a tight race at the top. One of them have won every single race this season. So I think yesterday was like the 5th race. So first 4 races, one of them have won. So they go into yesterday. Sergio Perez qualifies first ahead of Max Verstappen, who is really, he's the driver's championship the past 2 years, best driver of the two. Max Verstappen qualifies 9th, starts 9th because of a wreck before Max Verstappen can get his last lap in by one of their rivals, Charles Leclerc of Ferrari. So that was a huge
This on the
deal.
qualifiers.
Do what?
Is this in a qualifier or in a previous race?
Yeah, so he's kind of like an always rival, right? But the wreck happened in qualifying, the very end of qualifying.
Okay.
The last section of qualifying, only the fastest 10 of the previous qualifying session run. And during Max's first lap, he made an error, goes off track, so the lap doesn't count. Well, so he has to go out for his second lap. While he's starting his second lap, Charles Leclerc wrecks, brings out a red flag, he doesn't have time to come out and get another lap in. So, ruined his qualifying, starts ninth. Well, yesterday in the race, Max Verstappen mows through the field, comes back and wins the race with Sergio Perez getting second. He started in ninth and wins the thing. So
That's insane.
yeah, so now he's up 14 points. 14 points because he had the fastest lap. He's up 14 points in the Drivers' Championship. It's really, looking bleak for Sergio Perez getting beat by your teammate who started in ninth place. Just kind of difficult. No, it was kind of disappointing for me.
Can you catch somebody up 14?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's plenty of races left in the season. The winner of the race gets 25 points. The second place gets 18 points. So, I mean, there's just, you really got to, at this point, Sergio Perez needs Max Verstappen to do bad. That's kind of the thing. You need him to wreck maybe a couple times and you win the race. And, Max Verstappen gets 0 points, so you're able to jump him, things like that. He's going to need some.
So Red Bull is the thing right now.
So there's the Drivers' Championship where the drivers are competing, and then there's the Constructors' Championship where the constructors, so like Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, that's like they're ranked, and that's how money is paid out at the end of the year. And Red Bull is up like 150 points on the second place team, which I think is right now.
Who's in second?
I think it's Aston Martin.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe
Mercedes was on a run, weren't they?
They had a few years there, like from 2014 to 2021. They won like every year. It was pretty wild. But that was like right when I got into the sport the year after Mercedes' last championship. So Red Bull has always been the winner, while I've been winning.
Is there a cap on what they can spend?
There is a budget. And actually Red Bull went over the budget last year and were penalized, but it was a slap on the wrist, nothing big. So everybody's pretty mad about that.
Like this whole cap space thing that we don't think is real.
Yeah, which I mean, I think the F1 cap is pretty strict because they like the way Red Bull went over was they paid too much for catering during the season.
Wow.
Yeah, so or they misclassified some things as catering. So it was, it might not.
So they're having to bring their own lunch now.
Yeah, so they're
making a PB&J before they go race.
Exactly. Yeah, so they're having to back down a little bit on.
They're like, who ordered Panera bread?
Yeah, they're just gonna have to sacrifice a couple this year. And
I told you to get a Taco Bell party pack.
They're gonna join the paper sack gang. All roll up with a paper sack lunch. That would have been an awesome protest from Red Bull if they showed up to the first race with sack lunches.
Oh yeah,
that would have been.
And
hilarious.
Some plastic wrap.
Yeah, a slap in the face to the FIA. Okay, so that was my F1 of the week. We'll update that, see how Red Bull's doing as we go. The other thing is the Premier League, little soccer action, which I've talked about.
Tell me how the Premier League's doing. What is that looking like?
So we got 4 or 5 games left. Every team's got about 4 or 5 games left. All right. We have a title battle. Manchester City and Arsenal. Manchester City's leading with 82 points. Arsenal with 81. Arsenal's been leading literally the whole season. Manchester City, they've won the Premier League for the last 3 years. So Arsenal is back a point, and Man City has a game in hand. So Man City has 4 games to play. Arsenal only has 3. So coming down the stretch, it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks just to kind of see how that plays out. We have a top 4 battle, Man United and Liverpool, to get in the top 4. Man United is 1 point ahead of Liverpool, and Liverpool is 1 game ahead. So Manchester United have a game to play. They have 4 to play. Liverpool have 3 to play. So, Manchester United could put a little distance in there, but they've been struggling as of late. They lost yesterday to a team at the bottom of the table, West Ham. So Liverpool might be on the come up, make the top 4.
And they've been heating up.
Yeah, they're on the come up. I mean, they got 3 games to play. If they win all 3, I think it's likely they make the Champions League, which is huge in European soccer. If you get so much more money if you're finishing the top 4 in the Premier League than you do if you finish.
How does the structure of the Champions League work?
Yeah, so it's like pool. It's kind of like the FIFA World Cup, right? There's 4 teams in your pool. You play everybody in your pool twice, and you play them twice in the Champions League. You do that in the fall. Then in the spring, it's a 32 team, or sorry, 16 team tournament and you play 2 games against in each round, except for the championship game. So in the first round, you'll play a home and away, basically, with your team, whoever you're against, and then you're in the quarterfinals, semifinal, final.
When do
So
they play the championship?
the championship it'll be in like probably June, because they're on the I think they're playing the semifinals soon. I don't really know when it is. Manchester City's still in that. Liverpool is not. They got knocked out last round.
Man.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So they're playing their regular season and the
Yeah.
last year's postseason at one time?
Exactly. That's the coolest thing about European soccer is they're playing like if you're playing in England and you make some European league, either the Champions League or the next league below that, the Europa League, you're playing 4 leagues at a time during your season. So you're playing the Premier League games, the Champions League or Europa League games, and then in England they have 2 cups. So just tournaments that all teams in England play. The FA Cup, Football Association Cup, which any team in England can play. So the famous team Wrexham, that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, I remember they were in that.
They play in the FA Cup. And then the EFL Cup, which right now their sponsor is Carabao, an energy drink in England, the Carabao Cup. That's for teams in the Football League and up. So that's League 2, League 1, the Championship, and the Premier League, which is the top 4 tiers of English football.
That's really insane.
Yeah, so they're playing all 4 of these things at the same time. And it's really cool though because you're playing the regular season, but you're like it's just a break from the regular season. You get to play in the Champions League and stuff.
Yeah, you're trying to make next year's postseason by playing your regular season and then taking off a night to go play your last year's postseason.
Exactly. It's awesome. It's really cool. And storyline to follow. My team that I watch, Tottenham Hotspur, is currently in 6th place, which is teetering on playing in some European event. So it's going to be interesting to see how they finish. But the thing is I probably would rather them not play in Europe next year because we're in a rebuilding phase. I'd rather them not have to play all the games that you have to, like extra games you have to play, so we can work on making the Champions League next year by having to play fewer games, be more fresh, things like that.
This is educational.
I know. And then so the main thing in the Premier League right now is the relegation battle. So the bottom 3 teams in the Premier League get demoted to the league lower. And the top 3 teams in that league come up to play in the Premier League.
They move up.
Yeah. So there are currently 3 teams tied. So, there's 20 teams, 20th, 19th, and 18th go down. There are currently 3 teams tied for 16th, which means there's 1 team in 18th, right? So 16th, 17th, 18th, all are tied with 30 points. And the way they do the tiebreaker is goal differential. So it's going to come down to the wire. The team in 19th has 29 points. So there are 4 teams that could all not be relegated, really. So it's going to be super exciting to watch the end of the season for those teams. Everton, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, and Leicester. Yeah. Leeds is like the American Premier League team because half of the U.S. men's national team plays on Leeds pretty much. So for the USA, we need Leeds to get out of there. So
I also saw headlines this week, Messi to leave PSG.
Yeah, I saw that too. So PSG's French, Paris Saint-Germain. They're a French team.
Where do you think he goes? Does he get some Saudi money, do you think?
Well, the word on the street is they're offering him like $300 million a year to go play in the same league that Ronaldo went to. Yeah. So he's not re-signing with PSG. Pretty wild. There's kind of a contentious story about that too. But he also might come to Inter Miami in the MLS. David Beckham. Yeah, David Beckham has a majority stake in that MLS team. And there's talks he might do that, or he might take the money and go to the Saudi League.
That would be so insane if he came here.
It would be. And I don't see a world.
Every game in Nashville that
Oh yeah,
I
that'd
mean,
be crazy.
imagine and then when you go to the Atlanta United games when they're
Yeah.
playing Miami, like every
Oh.
venue would be sold
Oh.
out.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. I don't see a world where he doesn't like go to the Saudi League for a year, get his bag, and then go to Miami. One reason I'm thinking he goes to Miami is he owns a ton of real estate in Miami too. So
It's not that far from home.
nah, he'll be in good shape there. We'll see how it goes.
This is fun.
Yeah, European sports for American fans. We'll see how it sticks. Well, now that everyone is now that we're brought up to speed, I guess we'll see. We'll
I
pick out a
know, no, that
storyline or
was
two, right?
inspiring. I want to get into it more.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. All right, European sports for American fans. Where are we going next, Ian?
The only place to go to wrap this thing up, the
I like
college
it.
corner.
College corner. Oh
So
man.
I don't know what you had this week, but
Yep.
in community college world over here, in the
hmm
online community college world, it was finals week.
Same here.
Okay, that's what
Same
I
battle.
thought.
Yeah.
So a lot of my finals weren't really finals. Like
hmm
you taking a unit test that you can take
Yeah.
every unit, and then it just so happened to be the last one, and the professor's like, "Hey, this is your final. Just take this, and you're good." So I had only I registered for this course at the beginning of the semester, but it didn't show up for the first 8 weeks or whatever. So I only had like a smaller time frame in theater appreciation.
Oh yeah.
So in theater appreciation, they gave me the most content to absorb by far, more than any other class. And it's
hmm
just impossible. I mean,
Yeah.
they would send me, and it's not even like the professors doing it. It's like they give you 3 hours of YouTube videos for a 5 question quiz. Okay. I'm not watching
Wow.
all of that. I'm hitting the highlights. I'm making some Google searches and I'm taking the 5 question quiz. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So I had to write a paper on critiquing a play, just kind of my take on it, if you will. I
hmm
did Hamilton because that's the only one I'd seen in person, and we had to do it one we had seen in person. And I loved Hamilton. Like I could write for hours on it.
Yeah.
So I write this. I thought it was an incredible critique,
hmm
and I thought that would be the final. So then I'm scrolling back through. No, I got something else. I got to do a presentation on a play with videos and pictures and all of the things on a theatrical production.
hmm
So I do my favorite theatrical production, the WWE, as my as my presentation. So I'm getting on there and I'm like, look at the lighting, and I'm like, you like check out the Undertaker's entrance, and I'm playing like a compilation of different entrances of people walking in and the fireworks and the music, and I'm like, and like look at the choreography, and I show like Rey Mysterio's finishing move, the 619, and Randy Orton RKOing somebody in a Hell in a Cell match, and I'm like really hyping it up. And
Yeah.
then so I make this awesome presentation on the WWE as a theatrical production. And then I get to the I get to the like where I'm reading the submit page, and it's like, yeah, pick whatever Broadway production you want
hmm
to do. I was like, dang, this isn't a Broadway production. So I literally go on the last slide. I make another slide and I type, hey, I know this isn't a Broadway production, but it's what I wanted to do. I had already planned for it. I hope you enjoy it. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's going to be something different for you. If you want to take points off, that's okay. But I'm just going to submit this like it is. And I just submitted it like that.
Uh-huh.
So throwing the theater appreciation teacher a curveball with the
Yeah.
WWE as my theatrical production.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what I made on it.
Just holding your breath.
I
Man,
can't wait.
that's why. So mine's so I have every semester you have to have a minimum dining dollar amount. So you can use it on food on campus, right?
Right.
So you have to use it by the end of the spring semester, or you just like lose it. Like it just goes away. So this week I had like $30 left, so I need to eat on campus a few times. So on one day I go to like our big dining hall, the Edge. It's pretty new. It's really nice. It's got like 8 different things in it. So like you just go in and then it's like all you can eat. There's like 8 different places. Pretty cool. Well,
Right.
I'm walking there and there is a whole gaggle of like 5th graders, approximately, I was guessing, walking into the Edge. And I was like, I picked the worst day to go to the Edge because a 5th grade class just took their field trip to Auburn University, see the sights, and they're gonna go eat lunch in the Edge, and I'm gonna have to work around this. Like the Edge is normally pretty crowded at lunchtime, and now it's about to be really crowded with a bunch of 5th graders. So I go in, and I am, you know, trying to peruse around. I finally get something. I sit down, and then Enrique and Connor pop it down with me. 2 5th graders
Okay.
from the Auburn
Okay.
Elementary School. And it's kind of like a 6-seater table. I'm at one end, and they're at the other end of it, sitting across from each other. And I'm like, I'm about to make these 5th graders' day, or they're about to make my day, but we're about to have a conversation. And I said, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And we exchanged names, Lucas, Enrique, and
Enrique.
Enrique, and we had a nice little chat. They had a baseball game that night. Hope it went well. Enrique plays shortstop. Lucas plays left field. They were super pumped about it. But not every day do you meet a Lucas and Enrique.
No, you
Pretty
don't.
pretty interesting dudes. That's all. I mean,
Man, I
that's
hope
really
they
all I got
won.
from them. Do I?
I hope they
I do
won.
too. I do too. I mean, I was really cheering for them. They said they were pretty good.
What was
But
what was their order?
what'd they get? Okay,
Yeah.
so this might be So Lucas got a piece of pizza. Well, so his first go round. So you you can go back, right? So he gets a piece of pizza and macaroni and cheese. So like there's this like pasta place that they just have like pasta and then they'll put anything on it for you. You want it. So he got them to put like cheese on it, and
Yeah.
but it wasn't like cheese sauce. It was like shredded cheese. So you just had like macaroni noodles with like shredded cheese on it and a slice of cheese pizza. And Enrique, he got like there was like a chicken sandwich down at the downstairs. He got the chicken sandwich. And I don't really remember what else he got.
I knew there was
But
going to be a cheese pizza somewhere in there.
oh yeah, yeah, it's a
100%.
go-to. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't really have much go on this week other than my interaction with Lucas and Enrique. It was just a normal finals week plus work
So are
and
you
Auburn
done now?
sports. Oh yeah, I'm done. Done with school. We're out.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Auburn sports. Auburn sports had a weekend too. I was gonna add that to my college corner because
Go for it.
Auburn baseball beat South Carolina, number 2 team in the country last week. Won the series 2-1. Won the series. This week played LSU at home. Number 1 team in the country, won the series 2-1. So Auburn's going to come up. If we win these next 2 series, we'll end at 500, which will be huge. Since we beat LSU and South Carolina, we're probably going to make the tournament unless something awful happens in the next 2 weeks, which I'm not putting outside of the realm of possibility, but I'm excited about it. And also softball. Softball secured the 3
Softball.
seed. Yeah, secured the 3 seed in the SEC tournament play this week. And particularly Maddie Pinta, pitcher. I don't think she's lost a game in at least a month. She pitches
Man,
Friday and Sunday. She's like a 1.06 ERA. Pretty incredible.
that's insane.
So there's your Auburn sports update for the day.
Awesome. We won our world's biggest Wallace State fan here. We won conference yesterday.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think Emily's ERA was higher, but that she didn't lose a game that she pitched in.
Nice.
So yeah, there was this one girl. I couldn't make it to the championship yesterday, but I went the other 3 days of the conference. I filled up 3 times in 3 days. So they played in Alabaster, and there was a girl pitching. Anyways, Emily came into the game in the fourth inning. I think bases are loaded, 1 out. She's thrown against this girl. Big old girl. I mean, she just looked like it was in her eyes. She's about to hit a nuke, bro.
Yeah.
The dugout starts chanting her name. Guess what they're calling her?
No
Big
clue.
Country.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, oh my God, Big Country finna hit a
Yeah.
rocket off of us.
Yeah, yeah.
We struck her out. We got out of the inning. I think we won that game 3-2. So
Nice.
thriller.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Big
Yeah.
Country, if you're out there,
Come on
you're
the pod.
trash. No, we could get Big Country on. I would love that. Coastal Alabama Community College, I think.
Nice.
Big Country is out there probably somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably catching a squirrel with her bare hands or something.
Yeah. Or going like, bass fishing with their, bare hands. Have you seen those videos? People like go into the water and come up with
Oh, 100%.
or catfish. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, where she's got
Noodling.
her arm down in her mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Country probably hits nukes, but we struck her out, so. And we walked her every other time. That's how I knew she was.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had, that's all I got. I forgot to mention that. They won the conference. So national championship coming up in a couple weeks.
Sweet.
Or national tournament, which is played in Alabama, praise God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the last couple years it was in Arizona.
Wow.
So I saved myself some money and time.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Where is it in Alabama?
Oxford, where they play the state championship.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. Apparently there's a nice park in Oxford, Alabama. So
yeah.
Never know.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
That's all I got.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's been fun.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll catch y'all next time on the Lukewarm Takes podcast. Do you have anything to plug before we go?
No plugs.
I got two things coming out on the website this week.
Okay.
lwtakes.com. I'm finishing the Blow It Up watch as we continue in the NBA playoffs. What team's going to look different next season? And then on top of that, our inaugural media post, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review by yours truly. So that's what you have to look forward to on lwtakes.com. Check us out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We'll see you next time.